FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried has been arrested in the Bahamas about 4 weeks after the FTX crypto exchange filed for bankruptcy. Joining me now is business reporter Edward Boyd. Ed, we've seen him talk since, of course, this collapse, so a dramatic arrest. What's the Prime Minister of the Bahamas had to say?
Yeah, the Prime Minister of the Bahamas has weighed in on this. Remember, Sam Bankman-Fried, the founder of one of the world's largest crypto platforms, FTX, it declared bankruptcy on the 11th of November. But since then, Sam Bankman-Fried has been very vocal, speaking to the media, doing quite a range of interviews over that time period. He's been living in the Bahamas in a very nice-looking property over there. Even on the 30th of November, he did a big interview with the New York Times talking about how he didn't intend to commit fraud. So he's clearly been trying to get on the front foot in the past 4 weeks since his company went into bankruptcy. One of the big allegations was FTX used $10 billion worth of customers' funds to fund their own separate business called Alameda Research. So this was a huge collapse of this giant crypto exchange. A lot of customers have apparently lost billions of dollars of their own money. So overnight, well, actually, in the last couple of hours, the Bahamas have released a statement. The Prime Minister of the Bahamas himself has released a statement. I'll just quickly read it to you. This is from Philip Davis, the Prime Minister of the Bahamas. Bahamas and the United States have a shared interest in holding accountable all individuals associated with FTX who may have betrayed the public trust and broken the law. While the United States is pursuing criminal charges against SBF individually, the Bahamas will continue its own regulatory and criminal investigations into the collapse of FTX with the continued cooperation of its law enforcement and regulatory partners in the United States and elsewhere. So big developments here in the crypto world. A lot of people were wondering whether the United States would end up pressing charges against Sam Bankman-Fried. Obviously, it's taken them quite a few weeks now to get their act together, and they've finally done it. And he's now in custody in the Bahamas, Tom.
So the US expected to formally request that the crypto billionaire, maybe former billionaire, is to be extradited?
That's the expectation, that he will be extradited over to the United States. Both the Bahamas and the US have had an extradition treaty for quite some time. The charges have been laid by the New York Attorney's Office of South New York, so they're the ones that have laid the charges, and we don't actually know what the charges are yet, so that hasn't been disclosed. We just know they're criminal charges. And the media speculation, American media, is that he could be facing a life in prison. I've just read an article saying Bernie Madoff, who was the head of a big Ponzi scheme in America, was sentenced to 150 years in prison. That was the equivalent of life in jail. So there's speculation that the charges could be just as severe for Sam Bankman-Fried, and he could be spending the rest of his life in prison. But that's obviously all speculation. But we should hopefully know more from the US Attorney's Office over the next few hours if they do release what the criminal charges actually are, Tom.
Ed, thank you.